Hi guys, so sorry I haven't done a video for a long time. I've been busy contacting quite a lot of work. So basically I want to talk about artificial intelligence today. So you've heard ChatGPT mentioned, and a few of the other alternatives. I think Bard by Google is another one. So I guess really what I'll use as an example to explain this to you, how it works, will be Twitter. We're all familiar with Twitter. So basically, the way it works, artificial intelligence on Twitter is, so somebody will come along, like a company, and they'll go, okay, right, I've got an interest in specific keywords. So let's just take one for example. Let's call it Liverpool. Okay, so it may be a sports manufacturer or a football kit manufacturer or something. Excuse me. Or Liverpool tourism board, which I know you guys, some of you guys will find hard to believe, but yes, we do have quite extensive tourism. So what you do is, in essence, is you create a keywords map. So basically these will say the keyword we're looking for is Liverpool. Okay, and then what you do is then you get a bot account. So you'll create a fake profile on Twitter. You'll give it a picture of a fake guy. You'll put a few in your bio. You know, you'll never walk alone. I love Liverpool. Blah blah. A couple of flags, etc. And then what you do is then you write some sort of software, and what it does is it searches for everybody who mentions the word Liverpool, or it does the hashtag Liverpool. And what you do is what it does is the software then automatically follows the automated bot account. So this new bot account which creates, let's call it bot A. He then follows everybody, or sorry, he's the wrong word. I'm already giving it a personality. They then follow every single account which Liverpool. It could be thousands. Basically, they normally do it on geographical location, so it doesn't look too fake, so you don't get bots following like a million accounts and getting banned. So basically, let's just say they create one in Liverpool. It follows, say, 2,000 people in Liverpool who've mentioned Liverpool in the last 24 hours. So we're set up now, so we can start building what's known as a neural network. So we've got our bot account, it's following the right people. So what the bot account does is it then analyzes all of the tweets by the guy who keyword Liverpool and then replies to them tweets. So for example, one of the accounts it follows may tweet, does anybody know where the best pizza is in Liverpool? Okay, so one reply might say, Domino's is the best I find. Another one might reply, don't use Pizza Hut, it's awful. Another one might reply, there's a great little Italian restaurant called Piccoloni's or whatever. And then what it'll do is it'll look at the 4 or 5 different replies, and it'll create what's called a neural network. So it'll basically look at negative replies, it'll look at positive replies, and it'll save them away. Then what it does is it then builds up what in essence a collection of replies to food related questions. So basically what it'll know is it'll know pizza is a food. So what it does groupings. So it'll know pizza is a food, it'll know tiger is an animal, it'll know Trump is a politician, it'll know Labour is a political party, it'll know trans is LGBT. And what it does then is it'll assign it to a subgroup. So it'll be a neural network called food, and it'll have all these pizza answers. What it does then is it looks at another person's tweet, and another person might tweet, does anybody know where the best breakfasts are in Liverpool? So somebody might reply, oh, there's a great cafe called Maggie May's on Bold Street. There's, I go to Wetherspoons, it's always cheap. There's a great American place called Moose Coffee on Dale Street, American Canadian place. So there's 3 different things for breakfast. And what it does is then, again, it's got a neural map called food. Underneath it's got pizza answers. Underneath it's got breakfast answers. And it looks at all the different answers. So then what will happen is, it does searches based on other people mentioning Liverpool. So it'll do searches on keywords. So rather than just blindly follow, once it's in its learning phase, what it does is then somebody might mention, where's the best place to go for food in Liverpool. Okay, so that might be somebody it doesn't follow. And what it wants to do then is, if it's a high value profile, so it might be like a celebrity, it might be somebody it's interested in, what it'll do then is it wants to build a conversation up. So what it does is then, if it's not in machine learning, if it wants to build a relationship up, in essence, so things like people like J.K. Rowling with the trans, people like Donald Trump, obviously, if it wants to build a relationship with the person, it does what's known as personalization. So what it'll do then is it'll go back and look at all of the previous tweets that this guy's made, with the person who's asked for food, and it'll look at what foods it's mentioned. So as you mentioned pizza, as you mentioned breakfast, and it'll look for one that's been mentioned most. So basically, say for example, I made the tweet and I said, where's the best food in Liverpool? And I mentioned breakfast a lot. What it'll do, it'll look at them all, it'll map it, it'll go, okay, for this guy, food, this guy loves breakfast. So then it'll go moose coffee for American, or say for example, I love pancakes, I love American breakfast, or I love cheap breakfasts. I might have mentioned that previously in my tweets for personalization. So what it'll do, it'll go to the neural map there and it'll go, okay, food, breakfast, and it'll go, okay, well, this guy personalization wants cheap, he wants American, he wants English breakfast, Maggie made traditional breakfast. And what it does then is it builds a response to your tweet up, and it looks like you're talking to a real person. That's what a normal network is. So basically, I'll tweet, should anyone know where any food is in Liverpool, it'll look at my timeline, see the fact that I've mentioned breakfast, see the fact that I like traditional breakfast. I might have posted a few things, bacon and eggs, said bacon and eggs is the best breakfast ever. And it'll go, oh, Maggie Mays on Bow Street does the best traditional breakfast in Liverpool. So to all intents and purposes, I'm then talking to a real person. It's almost impossible for me to understand that it's not. So then I'll reply and go, oh, thank you very much for that. Blah, blah. Thank you very much for that. I'll have to try that. I've heard it's really, really, really nice there. So the guys will then store more neural network on it. So basically they'll get a response and they'll go, okay, response, it's really nice there. And then it'll say, okay, we've got a neural map called friendship or attack. So whether it's an attack bot or it's a friend bot, so it'll then say, okay, if it's an attack bot, so for example, I might be talking about Liverpool and it doesn't like Liverpool, it'll go, oh, you're an idiot, why are you saying that? Or if it's a friendly bot, it'll go, oh yes, I totally agree, can we be friends? That's basically, in a really, really simple term, then I would build up a conversation. And then once you get into attack mode or friendship mode, it's quite straightforward how it works. So basically there's a neural map of building up a relationship. So it'll either be attacking you, it'll either be trying to bring a friendship with you. So it has to build two big neural maps. The first one is an attack one, basically having a go at you, criticising you. The second one is a friendship one, saying, oh yes, that's great, can we be friends? Yeah, I love your tweets, blah, blah, retweet, love, like. And then it looks at different keywords. So obviously I'm not going to edit this video because I haven't got like all the editing tools and stuff, but I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense in how AI works. That in essence, can you imagine that basically is a simple term with one profile, but can you imagine 10 million bot accounts all learning off 24 hours a day without the need to rest because it's software, basically based on replies that everyone makes. And you can imagine the size of these neural networks has gone absolutely gigantic to the point where we've got software like ChatGPT now, which in essence is having real life conversations with people. But when you think that they've had 10 years on Twitter to build these neural networks on people's replies, it's quite it's understandable really when you think about it like that. But it also brings up, so artificial intelligence, there's a lot of press about it at the minute. We're not going to get like a Terminator type situation where people, where robots are going to come and murder your family and stuff like that. But what we have got is when you're on Twitter or on Instagram and things, you don't actually know when you're talking to a real person anymore. Which makes it probably the most dangerous platform in the world. Because what people are doing is they're creating millions of these bots and they're pushing political agendas or propaganda. That's how we got like Trump. That's how we got like immigration. That's how we got Brexit. That's how we got wars in America. That's how we got like the COVID anti-vax thing. So what Elon Musk is doing is basically he's come up with this $7 a month blue tick. And what that means is basically when you see someone with a blue tick, you'll know because they paid with a credit card and their name and address is being verified, that's a real person. Obviously, it could be a real person with a software bot, but there's not many people going to do a $7 a month software bot. That's what Elon Musk's playing on. The whole point of these things is the mass of them. There's millions of them and they don't cost anything. So once you start putting a $7 a month charge on each one, you can use credit card clustering. So basically an address clustering to see basically who owns them. So you can basically defeat the bots really. So what Elon Musk is doing is brilliant business sense. He's going to make a fortune out of it and get his money back. But also it's vitally important in the fight against artificial intelligence. And I don't think a lot of people understand. 99.999% of people will never understand that they weren't talking to a real person on Twitter or Instagram. This is why Meta is a safe space, really. Meta gets a lot of abuse on the other platforms, but that's the why. Because Meta, in essence, is a safe space. Because you're talking to mainly to people you know, people with real names, people with real profiles. I mean, for me, the only way around this going forward is people start using the real names and the real faces on profiles. Across all social media. I mean, I have this debate all the time on Twitter with people and they go, oh, well, people might hunt you down and hide. Everyone who says that, like 99.9% of the trolls on Twitter are all the ones who say that are the ones who are just spouting hate and so on and abuse. So I know at the minute on Twitter you've got like a for you tab and you've got a following tab. I think you should also have an identify tab as well, where basically you can just talk to people who you know are real. Because I think that's the whole point of Twitter really, is communication with real people. And I think because the way it's been hijacked, it's basically forcing political narratives down people's throats. And I mean, Elon Musk, for example, tweeted about what I've just mentioned about the $7 bots. Then what he done about an hour later, he got like 30,000 replies with just pure abuse about the money side of it. So then he basically said, an hour later, he tweeted sarcastically, obviously bots are welcome to pay $7 a month as long as they don't break the terms and conditions and impersonate a human. Now, if you understand what a bot is a software that impersonates a human. So he was being sarcastic. But then basically you got like 10,000 replies to that tweet. Politicians, influencers, journalists, technical people, believe it or not. And they were all having a go at him and attacking him about that. But no one actually understood he was being sarcastic, which is the biggest problem really. People don't understand the technical problem. Hence why I'm trying to do this video for you guys. So